Hello everybody, it's Nick here from the Spartan Trader Academy, and we're going to do our weekly outlook. I'll start today with the Gbp Australian Dollar because we were discussing this a lot in the live room. Let's start like always with a weekly chart. Here you can see our really nice, great, powerful uptrend with two very big 1, 2, 3 setups there, showing us how powerful this uptrend is, but also telling us that the retracements every time the price creating a new high are very big, up to 800-900 points every time. So now after the previous bounce, or many of our traders are still along, the price moved up 1,700 points and retraced back to the 12 EMA, which is close to the previous high coming from February 2014. So if you just look at that pair, it kind of tells us that this price could easily retrace back to that support line, which again is close to 900 or even 1,000 points. To make sure this works out here smoothly, what we have to do is check the lower time frames, okay? Because price is sitting on support right now. So on the daily chart, what we see is that big retracement back to the 36 EMA, which for us is always, especially in a trend, in this case an uptrend, a support area. It doesn't mean that the price will stop there, but the first touch is usually a bounce for us, and then we need to see, okay, will that stay below here, will it move lower, so we can actually target the major support coming from the weekly chart or not. In this case, we had a little range before this retracement. Price stopped down here. You can see that also clearly on the 4-hourly chart. So this is acting as support, while this area is acting also as support when it went down. Now here, at that point, this support here is changing now and acting as resistance, of course, because the price bounced on support here, is trying to get back. So what we are looking for are two things. First of all, a good bounce in the break of this previous support, now resistance, so that the price actually breaks as it moves higher. This would mean we look for longs again because the main trend is up. But if the price fails to do that, we look for nice classic setups on the 4-hourly, 1-hourly, or even daily chart to look for shorts and then really target this. That means for the swing long traders, they have to reverse the position or hedge up existing longs in case they really want to see this big retracement and think that it will bounce here again. Because if you manage your trade on weekly charts, then of course you can stay in for a longer time. Now, because this went up very steep, it's much smarter, if you get a good confirmation, to not hedge but just get rid of the longs and then take the shorts. Remember, you don't want to fall in love with your trades. Of course, it looks great if you have a trade running with 1,700 pips here, but you know when it's over, it's over. So you get rid of your remaining position, reverse, and go short. But we don't have the confirmation yet. Look at the 4-hourly chart. We had a first reaction on the 36, 200 EMA, which is usually a bounce. This was happened here again. We could at that point draw a line, trend line, but in this case sometimes price retracing back to here, sometimes to the 36. So the 36 EMA is actually our trend line. If the classic line doesn't give you a clean picture, then you combine it with your 36 like always, right? So what do we want to know here is, will this hold, because this is still lower than that, and actually move lower? Because right now we have still a short 1, 2, 3. We had this big bounce again after the spike, and price for the guys that went short below here, it is still short even knowing that this retrace. So what do you want to see is a clean break of this line, so you can either reinstate existing bounce shorts, or when you took it off the range, or this one, or you wait for another confirmation, meaning the price actually really creates a lower low, lower high, and then you look for setups to always target this line. This is something you don't want to miss. This could be very, very powerful if that happens indeed. You know the other scenario, if the price moves back up, then of course you look for longs. But right now, wait for potential setups because this could be promising a low risk trade with really big targets. Okay, let's do it quickly here. The US dollar, cable GBP US dollar breaking all that. So the main trend, if you look at the weekly chart, you had a huge weekly 1, 2, 3. Price only retraced to here. The previous highs coming from 2013. The retracements here, and now it moves lower. It is close to support again, starting from here down to here, right? So this whole area is major support. Lowest point would be, let's say, the 1.48, 30, 40, 50 area. And because this just dropped on the daily chart, what we now need, if you're not already short using this and your lower time frame entries, is really a retracement. That means wait for good retracement on the daily or even the 4-hourly chart, because even here you didn't get any good retracement. It just it just dropped, right? The 12 EMA, your volatility filter is working nicely. So best would be really, if you want to be conservative, to wait for big retracement to the 36, and this maybe is better to do on the daily chart instead of the 4-hourly, and then look for new trades, right? GBP JPY weekly chart, we all know it's an uptrend, very powerful. You don't need to draw new lines. It's the same line. The bounce worked nicely, price went up, but we don't have a new high on the weekly chart, and that means that we watch closely. It looks a little bit like the Gbp Australian Dollar. We have a retracement back to here. It's an uptrend. Price is fighting here. Previous support areas acting again down here is support. So what we need to see is ideally a break, a real good break of this area, or a bounce low. When we get this bounce and we get our white candle, then we know, okay, still long. We start targeting those highs. You can use your 4-hourly, 1-hourly entries and combinations with the lower time frames, like always. USDN still long, and on our small live account here, some members still practicing, doing well here with their USDN 4-hourly entry. You know, look at the weekly chart, it's moving up. Daily chart, it's moving up, but because there were already opportunities on the daily charts, now you have to actually choose the lower time frames to get entries. And because it moved up quickly and steep, I would suggest only bounce trades, meaning when the price comes back, hitting the line and trying to bounce off it, that you look for early entries to ensure win-win scenario. Okay, target, of course, coming from the daily chart, would be the previous highs from December 2014, which is the 121.80 to 122 area for now. On the weekly chart, I don't see any higher points, so it's open up for now. New Zealand dollar yen. This is a chart I don't like that much because we didn't get a reaction there. Price went over this area. It didn't really break clear or clean our, at that point, 2 to 3 line. It broke it here, but then it found support in 200 EMA. Then it moved lower, back up. So really, look at this. We had some entries, lower time frame entries. There were some nice pips to make, but now it's back down. We have support there. Really, we don't have a clean direction. So when that happens, yes, of course, you can go to the lower time frames, and if you have volatility, intraday trading setups, but always wait, even on this 1-hourly chart, for the price to get back to your 36, which is your guide right now, and look for trades in the profit zone area, not in between somewhere, right? Euro US dollar still crashing. You could see after this range, price moved lower. The main trend is still very, very powerful. The daily chart is your guide. The 36 EMA is your guide. As long as this thing is moving down, you look for shorts. Right now, there is no entry anymore if you're not already short, since somewhere up here or down here after that range, you want to wait now for a retracement back to your line, ideally back to the 36, and then trade the bounces or use the lower time frame entries for your trades, right? There's some other pairs that are on my watch list. I mean, there are many pairs that you could watch, but not every pair is a potential setup soon. So USD CHF, as you can see, it's just still going up and up and up on the daily chart, on the weekly chart. This whole crash that killed a lot of trading accounts, and even brokers had to close their doors, seemed to be a fake break, really, because price didn't even stop at resistance, still slowly pushing up, trying to find the highs, probably even the highs before the crash. So the target, long-term target, is still 300 to 350 points away. Now, so all the long traders, if you have the strength, stay in as long as the 4-hourly and daily is pointing your way. You have a angle change because the 12 EMA is the guide for now, right? Now USD Canadian dollar also, what we wanted to see is a breakout of this wedge. It's an uptrend, so you follow your main trend, which is long. We had a break there. Yes, we have still previous highs, but this is a good start. And sorry for that. Now what you need to see is this setup over here. You can also draw a horizontal line in this area, knowing that you have some spikes, okay, between here and here and here. You can leave it somewhere in the middle where you have the most touches, and you know, okay, this whole area is resistance. So what do you need? You really need this retracement at some point, and ideally a support line. And for me, of course, it came out of this wedge. Great, it's the first good sign. So I would aggressively take trades as a bounce if it really comes back to this area. More conservatively would be, of course, you wait for the price to get out of this whole previous high area, zone, whatever, and then look for setups over there, right? Another pair, the Australian dollar, US dollar, still bouncing on resistance. Great stuff. It retraced, retested, but still moving lower. So I know many members are short since the previous bounce, even since up here. It needs patience, okay? Like people that were short since up here in November and December 2014, they had to watch almost like a whole month and seeing this pair ranging. But you see, it slowly goes somewhere, and the main trend is still working, so it could actually break and create lower points, and then this waiting was worth it. If not, this is your line. As long as that line is holding, you don't have to worry. Yeah, because I get a lot of emails, people saying, hey, should I get out now or what? Just let the price do its thing and you just watch. It's a patience game, and that's what is trading about. Usually it's about patience and a little bit of discipline, following your own trading rules, right? Euro yen moving down again. This took like 2 weeks, but it really was worth it. So all the guys that took the shorts here should be close to a win-win scenario. If the stop is too big, then what I would do, because it's really reaching the previous low here, we never know, the volatility is not that big anymore, this powerful anymore, I would just, if you have the patience, wait for the price to really hit the 206.33, so it's kind of twice your stop. But if you can handle it, you could create a win-win scenario down here with a little bit less than 2 times the stop, just to feel better and keep a third of your trade running. and then it doesn't hurt much if it goes back up and it starts ranging again or something like that. Okay. Also, you want to take a look at your silver and gold charts. Those are both still pushing down. You'll see, yes, we had a support here. We didn't ignore the fact that we had 3 touches, but the higher time frames are always in charge, and the weekly the weekly chart was just more powerful. The bounces here, and many of us took the short, right? So just stay in, because it really looks like it wants to move lower, and I think if the lows really break, this could really drop quickly. I don't know why, because gold should not lose that much value because I believe that gold or this metal especially, and silver, are worth something compared to money, right? But you know what, the chart is always right, so if that's pointing down, we of course sell. Another pair, Euro CHF, you want to watch this closely, especially if you physically sell and buy currencies. Like I like to sell and buy CHF a lot, so when it dropped, remember we did this live, and then we got our first little retracements here. I exchanged my CHF back to euros and some to dollars, and right now it's ranging, so it's not worth buying or selling anything. We just need to wait, especially when you trade with leverage, lower time frames and everything. Look at the 4-hourly and 1-hourly chart. You can clearly see there's a range, but on the other hand also the 200 EMA is holding, and it looks a little bit like a wedge right now. Yeah, this pair is really like fighting, doesn't know what to do. And then another one is the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, which bounced nicely. Remember, we were watching this, and again you can see the power of trend lines, in this case also daily bounces here, and then a break of your 2 to 3 line on your 4-hour chart. You didn't really get a setup. That's what we were waiting for, right? You got it, but you got it on the 1-hourly chart actually, with a spike, and in combination with some news. We had also our non-farm payrolls on Friday, so you can see the reaction. That's why it's always good to wait for the news to come out, and then. But even here you can see, if you had your stop at the right place, all the EMAs are together in this area, so it's always smarter, of course, to place your stop over there. There was only like a 40 pip stop, then even the spike on NFP wouldn't hurt you much. So this is moving down. If you didn't catch it, some of you did, I know, then you now need to wait for another 4-hourly setup, at least not on the 1-hourly chart. Wait for the 4-hourly setup. Okay, that was it for today. I'll catch up with you tomorrow in the live room. We also have our free Renko bar workshop going over the EAs and the basics this week. Probably on Thursday, on Friday, I will send out some emails later on to you guys anyway, right? So catch up with you soon. Have a great day.